moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers. It is 7 a.m. and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show. Morning, viewers. It is 7 a.m. and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, viewers, we're just at about 7 a.m. and as we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Luke Trim. And viewers, yes, we're doing something a little different this morning, is that we have the merging of the older host and the youth host. So yes, viewers, we have a packed segment for you this morning. And for those of you joining us as you take your morning meditation and those tuning in as you listen to us on the radio, thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates to start your morning on the right note. So Mr. Skeet, what's been happening thus far in this week?
Yes, well, it's Tuesday the 6th and it's a kind of Holy Tuesday blend.
Yes.
My voice isn't at its best this morning, but thank God I'm alive and I am actually here. Most importantly, as we're out, a lot's been happening in this space for, well, not just in Tobago. For many have been tuned in internationally to the circumstances surrounding Donald Trump. And all I could think to myself, if only we could catch a couple of these thieves here in the THA and in the government. Yes, and I make no apologies for that. That's the views of Julian Skeet and not the views of Tobago Updates. But if only we can have a situation where right here in Trinidad and Tobago, we are similarly able to hold accountable politicians who are sometimes very much behind serious decisions that lead to questionable transactions in our country, and not just the usual public servant or senior public officer that's responsible for signing off, taking the licks. If only we could go back into our history over the years and treat with those persons accordingly. Oh, what a great world we will have, because when we start to set examples, there is the strong possibility that the likelihood may reduce. It may continue for some because they may still feel they can't be caught, but it just may be reduced. What do you think?
I think that you made some excellent points, Mr. Ski, because in this space we've been noticing that every time something goes wrong, it's the public servants taking the licks, they getting the blame, and the ones who are actually, supposed to be getting catch, they just, vibing, relaxing. So I think we really need to take notes. We need to take note from what we're seeing in the US and hold our politicians accountable, because at the end of the day, it's we the people put them there and we have the right to, tell them this is right, this is wrong. The power really lies in us, the people, but everyone has the notion that the power lies with the politicians. But as we are evolving, maybe we will see that improvement, Mr. Skeet.
Yes. Look, tell me something. What are you excited about coming up this Easter weekend? I see Rhea is on the live and she's having a restful Holy Tuesday. Yes, Rhea, I'm looking at you now. Having a restful Holy Tuesday, Rhea Richardson George. But what are you looking forward to in this Easter weekend? There seems to be so many things happening in Tobago. He's thinking about probably what he can reveal on air.
Yes, I'm thinking. I have to be very careful of what I say on live TV. But yes, I like how you touch on restful. I'm looking forward to some rest. But this weekend, there are so many events packed. We have car show. We have the normal Easter activities that we usually have in Tobago. So, Mr. Ski, right now I'm mapping out to see how much I can attend on what days and still get that rest. What about you?
Well, I usually look forward to a full lineup for the Easter. So I've already charged up this morning. Yes, folks, with my honey and paregoric, my honey and lime, to get this throat back in order. I am not letting it hold me down at all, and to participate in a White Cross section of the activities. I am also hoping to make it out to church on Sunday, with the usual church service that takes place over the course of the weekend, and to really see what's happening in Tobago. I'm hoping to be out there on Monday and the Tuesday for the goat and crab races. and the 1 or 2 breakfast events or so that might be taking place. You see, it's important, Luke, for us in Tobago Updates to have an on-hand experience.
Yes,
so when we get here,
agree.
we can speak to the happenings. It's not because we always have to be there or want to be there, but we want to ensure that we have the information for each and every one of you. Look, those are the sacrifices we make, not so?
And the beauty of it, Mr. Skeet, is that we have the pleasure of making those international viewers feel right at home. So when they tune in and they listen to our recaps, we make them feel right at home here in Tobago. So, Mr. Skeet.
Excellent. I feel like viewers, this morning is Holy Tuesday, but we're giving you a taste of what is intended to be Men's Week that will be coming up. That's in November. That we will certainly be celebrating our men, yes, and potentially you'll be seeing men in the lineup hosting and taking us through our programming for the Tobago Updates morning show. Any other things happening in this space that you'd like to highlight? We just had the launch, the preparation going towards the launch of the new political party. Your thoughts?
I think we're all eager to see I think people want to know the color, the symbol, what's the name of the party. Everyone is on the edge of their seats to know what this new party is going to hold. If it's, and I saw people in the space, people always have the likes and the dislikes, but a lot of people are saying they are looking forward to governance, not really a political party. So we hope that new political party can give Tobago people the governance they really deserve and the one that they voted for. So yeah, Mr. Ski, what about you?
Well, I quite frankly, I get in trouble all the time. I wonder if I should make these statements. I am hoping to see continued youthful leadership with the capacity and skill set. I'm very sorry. I do not just want to see seniors who have done it forever in a particular mode and in a particular way. I'm not going to hope that it's going to be different. I want to see the capacity, and I have said that on both fronts, both through the Farley-led as well as now with the PNM Tobago Council. Both entities, I want to see the advancement of youthful leadership, because I'm sorry to say, we have tried seniority in leadership for a number of years, and even in our Tobago context here, we've not necessarily achieved what we wanted to. We have made progress, don't get me wrong, and we are very grateful for those who have done their time to be able to move and to advance this island. But I'm not about to revert or to accept in any way, form, or fashion, reverting to just that concept, bring back the old time days. I do not support that philosophy at all. In the old time days, we didn't even have a microwave, we didn't have washing machines. And while you all appreciated it, I grew up in a different time. And therefore, I'm saying, let's see how we can use the technology and use the advancements, use the knowledge, use the youthful skill sets to advance and to move us ahead in today's society. So I'm really looking forward, and I'm hopeful, just as the PNM Tobago Council has sought to make changes to incorporate more young persons, youthful leadership. And don't get me wrong, not just young by virtue of age. I'm speaking with the necessary capacity and skill set. I'm not about this tokenism thing either, where people are just put there because.
You see young people.
Correct. So I'm certain about pushing that. Younger persons. Let's see the persons in their 20s, 30s, 40s getting involved and really seeking to make a difference, who are not tainted by the past. And that's one of the beauties for me of the current construct between both minority and majority in terms of people who are new. And ultimately, we're looking forward to seeing. I would be very disappointed if I see a new party coming out and it becomes taken over by simply persons who have tried and done it before. Let's look for that mix of youthful capacity, and no problem. Just as it happens in all entities, they can support those who have done their time from the background. Look, some may not agree, but it's no secret. I'm a strong advocate when it comes to youth development and promoting and encouraging. There's a place for everyone. The experience can be there and support, but you just do not need to be at the forefront of moving things forward.
I agree with that, Mr. Skip, because I always wonder why it is we have retirees running the country, but we'll discuss that on a different date, Mr. Skip.
With the amount of things that we have to chat and to talk about. But let me not forget this morning at all to shout out my barber out there, Classic Cuts. That's Classic Cuts by Aquilon, located in Susulan. Continue to be that support, definitely, in terms of moving out there, young person in business, moving forward productively. So remember, folks, to check out Classic Cuts by Aquilon. All right, viewers, at this point, we prepare to head on into our birthday celebrations. We're heading into birthdays this morning. Who do we have on the lineup for birthday celebrations?
So first on all this, Mr. Skeet, we want to send out happy birthday to Miss Rose Douglas, fondly called Anchor. And this birthday, they are wishing you blessings of God and continued life. And we hope you have a blessed day today, Miss Douglas. Who's next on all this, Mr. Skeet?
We also have in the mix this morning, Travis Allen. Travis Allen celebrating a birthday. We want to wish you God's continued blessings.
And lastly, we are sending happy birthday out to Miss Wendy Phillips from Your Loved Ones. So to everyone celebrating birthdays today, I hope you enjoy. Don't eat too much cake. Just have a good vibe and a nice time. So viewers, right now we will be heading over to news in 90 seconds with Miss Chanel Felix.
Thank you so much, Julian and Luke. And here's your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, the 6th of April. Following threats by the media houses to boycott the 95th hosting of the Buku goat race over a $1,500 accreditation fee for news coverage, the decision was rescinded. However, all footage must be accredited as being courtesy of the Buku Village Council. At a meeting on Wednesday night, the media was told that news crews would not be able to operate freely without paying an accreditation fee. A release was issued last night informing the media that they will no longer have to pay for news coverage. Meanwhile, videographers producing content are still required to pay $6,500, while photographers must pay $1,500. Village Council Vice President Winston Pereira said that the goat and crab race are copyrighted, allowing them to control who gets to publicize content from the goat and crab races. Additionally, the THA is seeking funding for a coastal erosion management project at the Pigeon Point Heritage Park. According to the manager of the engineering unit at the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, Atiba Martin, the THA is negotiating with the Development Bank of Latin America for a loan. A recent study at the Pigeon Point revealed that previous coastal protective works were poor and extensive rehabilitation is now required. However, the work would be costly and the THA would need access to funding outside of its annual budgetary allocation. And finally, the administration of the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus says it is making all the efforts needed to reduce the impact of the West Indies group of university teachers' protest action on students. The university teachers refused to sign examination papers and upload students' coursework progress after their wage salary negotiations stalled. The University of the West Indies Student Guild stated that while they understand the frustration felt by teachers, they do not support the teachers' action, especially after the Operation Blackout, where some refused to teach. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Back to you, Luke and Julian.
Thank you very much there, Chanel, bringing us the news and the relevant highlights. We want to also shout out, I'm seeing on the live, Luke, we got some familiar connections here on the live this morning. I'm seeing Julia Brown, our very own youth host, is also on the live with us this morning. Kaylee Lewis.
Good morning, Kaylee.
Cleon in the mix. Morning Audit Cowan. Ria is on with us this morning. Sharon Mills, Biana Brebner, good morning, and shout outs to each and every one of you. I see someone making it clear on the mix there in the live. Well said, flesh, blood, thoughts, and thinking. And based on a WhatsApp that I have here, yes, let me just clarify so that you all don't go crazy out there. I am not just speaking persons without the capacity and skill set. I'm simply saying, give those into their 40s, their 30s, their 20s, an opportunity to be able to join the mix and make a difference. Yes, we've got to give it a try by force. As the only way we'll be able to try something new, because I'm sorry to say, when I compare where we are at now and for those who have done over the years to persons who are much younger, the reality is, younger are more willing to take that risk versus someone who has had that wealth of experience that has now tainted your perspective in terms of whether or not you should try new things, because there's always the tendency to say, well, we have tried that already. and it didn't work, so there's no way of trying it again. Whereas someone who hasn't tried it will be willing to look at it from a different perspective, do the research, identify the reasons why it did not work in the past, and give things a try again to advance us. And that's the kind of thinking we need to move critically ahead in 2023 and beyond.
And you know, Mr. Ski, these discussions, I think we've been hinting it here on Tobago Updates very frequently, is that it's time for Tobago Updates to have a nice debate night. You know, these topics are very debatable topics. Yes. I think people of Tobago will love to hear the views, the different views. I think it's time for us to bring on some nice debate nights here on Tobago Updates.
And Luke, I love the excellent call. Let me be as pointed as possible. And we'll be happy to get those debate nights started with Farley Chavez Augustine, Chief Secretary. What is the interim political leader Ansel Dennis for the Tobago Council of the PNM. Who knows? We don't have to wait until election time. We can speak the matters and speak the issues during the season. This is a different time and a different mode. Let's see how things are happening midway. Let's see what's happening in the context of this 4-year projection of this current administration. Who knows, Luke? If we start asking from now, we might actually get that debate by the time we reach to the 4-year mark. All right, as viewers, at this point, we head on into Tobago in Focus.
Issue of land tenure preventing persons involved in agriculture to access incentives from the Department of Agriculture has been addressed. Registration and Incentive Officer in the Department of Agriculture, Tobago House of Assembly, Giselle Davis, explains.
Prior, we focused on that land ownership, where you must have been the registered owner of the property. It was eased a number of years ago, where we now look at land tenure. Land tenure meaning that for me, for example, I might be an owner of a parcel of land, and you might be interested, or you might be a relative to me in farming. So what we can do is do an agreement, a lease agreement, or I can give you an affidavit. However, whatever land tenure document the person intends on using must be a legal binding document. And also, I must show that I have the rights to give you permission to occupy the parcel of land. Even though I am not the registered owner, I might be the person in charge of and paying taxes on behalf of same.
These agricultural incentives are aimed at encouraging persons to get involved in agriculture, to boost productivity, to encourage good agricultural practices, and to attract new persons to the sector.
Equipment and machinery, water for agriculture, we have land preparation. There are incentives for agro-processors to bring your holding up to HACCP readiness. We have for marketing as well. So each incentive, and I must mention that there are also incentives for vehicles as well.
This program is national, and all qualified persons are encouraged to take advantage of the investment. Farmers must be registered with the Department of Agriculture and includes beekeepers, agro-processors, farmers, cooperatives, and organizations.
So each incentive, coming back to that, carries its own rebate percentage. So the incentive is not a before, it's after. It's a rebate system. So the person purchases, farmers, fisher folk, beekeepers, agro-processors, and we now give back up to 50% of what they would have spent. So for example, under the equipment and machinery incentive, that will cover items like your brush cutters, your water pumps, items like those. The rebate on that is 50%, but all we would pay is $50,000.
For more information and to sign up for these incentives, visit the department at the Milshirv Administrative Complex, Shervan Road, or call 639-1966, extension 3585 or 3586. The Department of Agriculture is part of the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development.
Yes, viewers, and welcome back here to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. At this point, viewers, we are heading on into our rundown for this morning, and we actually get the conversation started this morning with Janice Walker, and she's nutritionist coordinator at the Division of Education, Research, and Technology, and she's on screen there with us. Yeah, give us a wave again there, Janice. All right, she will be coming up next on the lineup here this morning. And Luke, who else do we have on the rundown this morning?
Next on the rundown, viewers, we will be bringing on Miss Nicosi Phillips to speak about the boycott of the Bucko Goat and Crab Festival. And to close things off, we will be ending with Theron Shaw, a guitarist, composer, and recording artist, as we discuss the Jazz Festival for 2023. Mr. Ski, this sounds like an interesting lineup this morning.
Very much so. And it becomes even more interesting, as Ria would say, Luke. It's not Friday, but it's certainly the day before the holiday. So certainly it makes it an even more energized and exciting show being brought here just for you at the Tobago Updates morning show. So viewers, we want to remind each and every one of you, those connecting with us via TV, those of you listening in on the radio, and those of you online, we want to thank you so much for choosing the Tobago Updates morning show, and to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
We live where you vacation. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving.
Good morning, viewers. It is 7:19 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, we oftentimes wonder, and we know those of us are with children or connected to any young persons in the school system. Ever so often, we have the occasional challenges when we speak about school lunches, whether it's going to come in the first week, it's not going to come in the last week, what's the menu options and choices. This morning, we have on with us Janice Walker, nutrition coordinator within the Division of Education, Research, and Technology. And yes, she's going to tell us all about the fact that the program and the unit is much more than just about school lunches being provided by way of contractors. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, Mr. Skeet, and morning to Tobago, and morning to all the staff out of the Division of Education, Research and Technology.
As we get the conversation started this morning, we want to start off by looking at your area in terms of the nutrition program within the Tobago House of Assembly. Tell us a little bit about, you know, the aspects that this entails. As I said, persons most times probably is just known for a particular area, and outside of that, you think, nah, well, we have no use for nutrition. Tell us a little bit about the areas that are covered within the unit.
Okay, within the nutrition unit, we have officers, we have a staff, we have the staff there, and as you said, they only think of school lunches. Our unit, we provide a lot more than school meals. We are there to assist you, FBOs, NGOs, each and every one in anything that you wish to partake of. Presently, we have an etiquette program going on within all the schools or as much schools as possible. So we are not only focusing on supplying a box lunch to school children or the needy. We are involved in every aspect of nutrition and outside of that.
I want you to tell us as well, in the context of ensuring that there's a balanced diet provided for persons when these meals are provided, because again, people think that it's random. Tell us about the process that goes into that, the determination of what might be an appropriate menu, so you know that there's that balance in terms of carbs and so on.
Okay, we have a balanced menu. We have a 5-week cycle that we work with, so it's rotational. And we plan the menu, and we work closely with Dr. Joanne Cruikshank out of the community nutrition. She's the senior nutritionist there. So we have a balanced menu in the sense that we have all the food groups involved in the menu. But mind you, we only cook chicken, fish, and vegetarian because of our cosmopolitan state. And we have Seventh-day Adventists, we have Muslims, we have different religious background in our school. So that's how we serve the meals, with chicken, fish, or a vegetarian. And the meals are very balanced.
Is the program still limited to lunches only, or it's extended to cater for different needs during the course of the day?
We have a breakfast program, we have the breakfast program and also the lunch. So it is not only a lunch box, we have a breakfast program that we are involved in also.
What's the reach been generally among our schools in the Tobago population to be able to continue to meet that need as the nutrition unit?
Well, we cover all schools from nursery right up to secondary. We used to feed UEDEC, but they no longer exist. But we do the ECCs, primary school and secondary school. And in the primary school, we supply only the breakfast program, only supply the primary school. And the lunch program, it encompasses the entire school population in Tobago.
All right. Tell us a little bit more about I know you mentioned the etiquette training program. Who is that targeted at in terms of the reach?
We target from ECC right up to secondary school. And now that C is over, SEA is over, we have a lot of schools. My officers, we are on demand because the teachers have the tendency to take the children out to dine. So they would ask us to come and give a sort of crash program so that the children would be able to eat with the knife and fork. But we have started our program from nursery school so that when the time comes and the C is over and the children would like to go out to their fine dining, they are already prepared.
What are some of the areas you hope in terms of prospects and additional components for the development of the unit in terms of its contribution on that Tobago or the national scale?
Well, in that aspect, we would like to see what you call a nutrition committee. And why I say a nutrition committee, I just came back from the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, where I went to a conference for sustainable development in school feeding, where we had countries from Latin America and certain Caribbean islands. And with that, you saw where we have growth. I must say school feeding is here to stay. It is worldwide. It is an important aspect. It is an important component of any government. So with that, I would like to see we would like to see a nutrition committee which involves teachers, the community, persons in the community, and students, so that they can have a say in whatever is happening in the school nutrition program.
What would be your advice for parents and guardians in relation to the preparation of meals outside of what is provided by school? Because you have some children that make the comparison. I get a good meal here, but when I'm home, it's a different kind of story. What's your general advice and guidance for parents when it comes to, the preparation of meals so that you really try to keep that healthy eating as consistent as is possible, or as far as your pockets may be able to afford, because we know it's not cheap at all to eat healthy.
Well, what I can say is, firstly, get the children involved. Get the children involved in the sense that you make them part of the cooking at home, so that they can see what they're eating. They would know about the preparation. And it's important that you have maybe a kitchen garden. And with that kitchen garden, they would see how the food is being grown. So grow what you eat what you grow. So they would be involved, and they would say, well, Mommy, I saw this in the school meal program, we got this. And it is not what we are getting. So I would like you to I would like you to take me in the kitchen and be part of it.
So you've just touched on my next question. Plans, or if it isn't already existing, the connection between nutrition and the elements in terms of schools actually operating gardens. And so for example, I've been to St. Patrick's, and I know a few of those schools who have an active outdoor happening there where they encourage students. What's the connection with that in terms of between the nutrition unit, or are there any plans to ensure that that becomes part of the production line?
Well, it is already there, because Tobago is very heavy where the 4-H is concerned. And you have a lot of schools with school garden. So once the children are involved in the school gardening, they would use their produce from the school garden and incorporate it in the breakfast program, because we have schools that do their own breakfast program. So the children would be very, very excited to know that they would have planted something and it is part of their breakfast program. So they are going to be excited and they are going to eat it. So with that, we would like the farmers to be involved. And when I say farmers, I don't mean farmers out there, farmers, the little children in the school with the 4-H, with the garden. So it is from farm to table. So we don't pressure them to say, well, okay, we have something that you have to do. What they produce in their garden, it is produced in the breakfast program. So they consume what they grow.
Excellent. The comparison between the quantities for the breakfast element versus the lunch. Is the breakfast a smaller quantity really targeted at those who actually need, or is it the same kind of quantities that would come in terms of lunch? So we want to give a sense as to whether or not parents should see it as across the board, I just have to stop making breakfast, or is it really targeted at those who, have more challenging circumstances?
It is actually targeted across the board for those who have more challenges. We don't want the parents to stop, because that is a family thing where you have unity, where you eat together. So we don't want to stop that. And we would not be able to supply each and every household or child with a breakfast. But there are some children that would come, we know their status, their socio-economical status. So with that, we would be able to supply them with the breakfast. The school feeding program, we supply 1/3 of their dietary requirements. So you would have your breakfast and you'll have your lunch. So that's where it's at.
Excellent. Tell us again, for the benefit of parents and so who may be wondering, in the circumstances, who do they check with? The division to put their information, or the actual school through the relevant principals in terms of having access to, especially the breakfast component?
They have to go to the school. The schools are in charge of that. The schools, the principal would look and say, well, we know that the child is definitely in need, and they are going to do it. We have a certain amount that we supply for the breakfast. There's one school in particular where, let's say, the school is a big school. It's a very large school. And that school, the principal would go beyond the call of duty and give more breakfast than she is supposed to supply to the children. So most times, the children are so excited, they're happy with the breakfast, because our school feeding program, our lunches are fantastic, our breakfast, it is great, but breakfast is the first meal of the day. So you find now a lot of children would go for the breakfast, because sometimes they leave their breakfast at home and go to school for our breakfast program. It is fantastic.
Tell us the connection for the persons who are not as aware and probably mixing it up, the connection between the nutrition unit within the division and the school nutrition that operates out of Canaan. Is it connected? Is there a link?
When you, there is a link.
Right.
The link is the Tobago Nutrition Cooperative Society. They are one of the stakeholders. They are one of the caterers that would provide service to the division that supply meals for the school feeding program. So that's the connection. The Division of Education, Research and Technology, School Nutrition Unit, we are solely responsible for the supplying of meals to all the schools throughout Tobago. So the caterers we have, like the Tobago Nutrition Cooperative, they are a stakeholder in it. So we employ them to supply a service.
And the current reach in terms of approximate high schools and primary schools, you could remind us of those numbers. I'm not sure if you know it offhand.
Yes,
but the reach in terms of high schools,
over 11,000 school children on the island for the lunch program. For the breakfast program, we serve over 2,500 students.
And based on what you're saying, that's opportunities created for several caterers and not just one in the Tobago space.
That's right. We have 17 lunch caterers and we have approximately 52 breakfast caterers because we have 42 primary schools in Tobago. And as I told you before, breakfast is only supplied in the primary school. And it is nice that the Tobago House of Assembly, Division of Education, Research and Technology, there are schools out there who supply breakfast. So they do their own breakfast and they can get their own finances.
All right, and schools, you're hearing it loud and clear. The unit is also available to provide the requisite training in your downtime during your school terms and so on with the relevant information. Any other critical information you would like to share before we conclude this morning's interview?
The School Nutrition Unit, we are not only involved in supplying meals to school children. As I said, we go to FBOs, we go to NGOs, they call for our service. We assist any school, anyone that needs us for etiquette program. We do training where cooking is concerned, and we cover as much as possible. Anything that has to do with dining, fine dining, training, we are out there. Our staff, we are well qualified, we have the expertise, we have the knowledge, so we go out there and serve the people as much as possible.
Contact information for the unit. I'm seeing a message coming in. Contact information for the unit for persons who want to seek out those services. And I know this individual is a part of an NGO.
Yeah. 2990781, that's the Division of Education number. Our extensions are 3123, 3124. You can call anytime, you would be able to get us. Or if you don't want to call, you can visit the unit.
One other quick question that's coming to mind, the monitoring mechanism at the relevant schools in terms of, as you said, these are outsourced to contractors that provides the meal. What's the monitoring mechanism on the part of the division and the unit to ensure that, one, the relevant commitments are met, and two, more importantly, the quality is something that is maintained? Is there random spot checks? Are there officers placed throughout Tobago? Just tell us about the monitoring mechanism.
We have 4 zones. We are divided into 4 zones, and we have officers that go out. We monitor the caterers, we go to the schools, we look at the wastage, we look at the quality that caterers would supply. So we do spot checks, we just drop in on the caterer and we know that they must obey our menus. So our officers, they go out and they do their spot check, their quality assurance to make sure that everything is intact and the food, they are prepared under strict hygienic conditions.
If persons have concerns, can they reach out to the division or are they advised to reach out to the principal within the schools?
They can reach out to the principal, they can reach out to the division. The officers visit the schools regularly and the caterers. So they can reach out, because once you reach out to the principals, they have their concerns, they contact us, they contact the officers, and we deal with it accordingly.
All right, so thank you very much there. Janice Walker, Nutrition Coordinator, joining us here on set for the Tobago Updates morning show. And I see Janice is charged in her very bright yellow. Would I say that's the victory T-shirt?
Oh, yes, it is the victory T-shirt. And this morning we have a charity fundraiser brunch at the division for a staff member, so we have a brunch this morning.
Excellent.
So we are all in our
And
charge of
I
t-shirts.
also want to use the opportunity to send out commendations. The entire team, Janice, Etney, Yearwood out there, Assistant Secretary Orlando Koo, Administrator
Diane Baker Henry,
Secretary Zarisha Hackett, and the entire team out there. I was particularly impressed in terms of the lineup as we went through the recognition of Down syndrome and that awareness, and the division going one step further. It's not just about wearing your sock, but they had an entire, what I describe as a collection container made up the shape of a sock, where you can, as you visit the division within the next coming months, to make your contribution. You want to just remind our members of the public very quickly?
Yes, we have a Down syndrome. We have a socks there that you can come. Once you visit the division, you can make your contribution, and within time we are going to take it around to various schools. You would be notified which school we would be with our sock, and you can make your contribution. And come next year, we are going to make a presentation to the Down Syndrome Society.
Excellent. Thank you so much again. And commendations going out to the Division of Education, Research and Technology, the entire team, leadership and staff, really seeking to go above and beyond. So thank you so much, Janice Walker, Nutrition Coordinator, for joining us here on set this morning at the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for your continued love and support. A quick shout out, Maurice Gordon Toussaint, Cherise Wright Anthony, supporter from day one, here with us at the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Cleon McPherson, Gemma James, Auntie Dornette Dempster in the mix this morning, Godfrey Moore, Kerry also on the lineup with us this morning, Roger Stewart, Lincoln Scotland, Kuki Melville, Lisel James. Good morning to each and every one of you, and we want to thank you for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And this is our opportunity to remind you, this is your chance to share the live, share the live, share the live.
It's time to go.
Geld in die alte
Sweet like to.
Tobago, here's the real deal. Nothing sweeter than when your internet fast all day, every day. I telling you, it's real nice when your home internet and TV package fit your budget. Well, if that's what you want, you're safe with Digicel Plus. Sign up or switch to Digicel Plus now and pay $0 for 1 month. Plus, plans start as low as $199 and you get installed for free. Visit DigicelTT.com or a Digicel store now.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Tobago is Easter, so join us. Call Thorns Place 745-7306 or 682-8676 and book your stay now. Rooms as low as 200 TT. Message us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. Just a 5-minute drive from the Scarborough Port. Tobago is Easter, so join us.
Tapicom. Welcome to the future. The only card you will need in a new world. Digital business cards. Safe, hassle-free. The future is here. Tapicom. New generation digital transfer. Digital time clock cards. digital attendance cards, air tags, customized designs, digital clothing tags, digital pet tags. Tapicom. The future is here. Contact us today.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Book your passage and come on over.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Now, the crab and goat races plays an integral role in our Easter celebrations. However, in the past 2 days, we would have seen a lot of propaganda regarding media houses. Joining us this morning to speak about a call to boycott the crab and goat races, we have Nikosi Phillips. A special morning to you, and how are you doing?
Hi, good morning. Good morning to Big Updates. Good morning to your host. Good morning, everything.
So, Nikosi Phillips, we would have seen some propaganda regarding media houses having to pay to film and take content at the Boko crab and goat races. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, First, I would like to say, what I mean boycott, meaning that as a past executive of the village council, it has never been on the table that a media house should pay, because I think the exposure that we get from the media houses to expose the goat race, and then goat race has been in existence for over 90 something years. So to come now and to put that charge on a media house, it a slap in the face and a disrespect to the media house, who would have given us the opportunity to mark it long time and to put the whole show on the TV, because without the media houses, the event would not, be broadcast to the people who can't make it and who are unable to make it to Tobago, or even in work, they would not be able to make it. So, for me, as I said, I don't know what is going on with the village council. And I said while I was in the States that they are going totally mad.
All right, Nikosi, and people will have to believe that there's a marketing pro of having the media houses pay, because when these entities have to, let me say, pay to enter and they have to sell that said content, they make more than they actually have to pay to get into the event. And people are of the belief that yes, it has the pros, it has the cons, that from a marketing perspective, when these media houses sell back their content to probably say Caribbean Airlines, those entities that boost our tourism, that is a pro, and they should pay for to enter the goat race. What are your views on that, Nikosi?
Listen, marketing, we can't use the media house as a target now, because marketing, the village council had enough time to market. The village council had enough time, because I'm hardly hearing any advertisement or advertisement or anything about the Buku Goat Race. I'm only hearing Mount Pleasant, Mount Pleasant, Mount Pleasant. And for me, I have not seen any marketing yet. The media houses bring a lot to the table, and if you bring the media houses into this now, talking about pros and cons, you have to also look at the tourists. And actually, I have been there. I've done this goat racing a lot. I've done with the VIP part of it. When the tourists come, they have these little cameras. They have all these gadgets that people come. You see, they set up their stuff, and they have the little camera photo filming the whole thing. So how are you then going to police that? There is no sense of policing. I know they had a meeting last night. I did not get an update as to what went happen with the media houses, if they are on, if they are taken. So I don't want to really say too much. But all I'm saying is, I do not support the move now to give the media houses that charge at this point in time, at this slow point in time, that just pop up on something like this, because Come on, I heard, I know I just got something last night that, that last night conversation wasn't too good, and I don't get the full story, so as I said, I can't say anything, but to pop that and to spring it onto the media houses now is ridiculous, because the past years they tried, it didn't work, because we have to also look at persons who have phone. We have a drone. Somebody could be outside and have a drone and do the whole event. How do you then police it? Buku Village Council already does not have manpower for the grounds or to handle the goat racing itself. So this doesn't make sense. It's just a slap in the face to the media houses. And as a past executive and as a member of the village council, that is ridiculous. This is just a cabal now trying to do something that doesn't make sense, and it doesn't all go well with some of the villagers in the community and the media houses.
So the Boko Village Council have described the meeting last night as fruitful. So now we saw a release where media houses no longer have to pay. They will be allowed a band, well, 2 bands, one for the journalist and one for the cameraman. Photography and videography people, they will pay a fee of $1,500, and production houses and multi-camera productions, they will pay the $6,500 fee. So there were some stipulations that were made, there were some adjustments that were made. Are you in agreement with the adjustments that would have been made based on the meeting last night?
Honestly, I still don't agree with it. And if the media houses choose to pay and they want to go and do it, fine by me. But that is up to the media houses. And as I said, it is not all going well with some of the past executive members and the president. And you've seen some of the persons putting things on social media. That this point in time, at this short point in time, it doesn't make sense. And as I said, it is up to the media houses if they want to pay and proceed. That's up to them. But for me, I think, we have to take time to look at how these things are just put on to somebody just like that, and it doesn't all go well. As you said, you have more update than me, because I didn't get an update, so I don't want to push my mouth too much to say that, But all I'm saying is, what was put there, it should not have happened. And that's all I'm saying. I can't say much. It's up to the media house now to choose to pay and to move forward. If not, stay outside and have it drawn up and film the whole thing. And because, well, who are you marking it to? Who are you selling it to? Because, as I said, look, when I was outside in America there, people don't know Tobago. People don't even know Tobago exists. Even though a little snippet or a video of it, it does not have a proper marketing strategy in anything that happens in Tobago at all, period. So who are they going to sell it to? We have persons who would have come here before in the past and filmed the goat race. Where did the money go to? That's the next topic by itself. And I don't want to start that now, but at the end of the day, they have people coming here and taking videos of the goat and crab race in the past. Where did that money go to, that the persons who would have paid? So, you can't do that now. It is a disrespect to the media house, as I said, and I am not in agreement with it. And other persons who are not in agreement with it would have posted and gave their comments on Facebook. So I'm going on based on the comments that were there, and even some of the villagers would have been in support for the media houses, because actually the goat racing need the coverage, although it has been in existence for so long. I think the coverage is needed, because like see the videos posting up on social on the TV. You only hear about the goat racing, or you see the videos coming back like close to Easter time. You see they show about the whole show, or some of the media houses show the whole goat racing from 2022 or 2021, and I leave it in the hands of the media house. Whatever they choose to is up to them.
All right, so Nkosi, you're on a platform for your voice to be heard, and as a member of the Boko Village Council, what are some recommendations you would like to put forth this morning that can help for this whole event to be a successful one?
This event is going to be successful because I showed up late at the meeting. The goat racing has always been successful, and being a part of the goat racing planning committee a long time, I know that the team, they always try to push their best foot forward. But as I said, the only part that actually is going wrong now, we have the cabal election that happened. We have the election that took place that the villagers were not a part of. And that's the only thing that we're going forward. And we need to have a strong team, and we need to be more unified as a village and as a community. And a message to the village council members now and the village council executive now. in order to move forward, it starts with unity. And if you do not have unity going forward, everything will be always a pull and tug. And for me, I'm going to be defensive all the time because at the end of the day, I know what actually happens in the village council. There are so many things that need to be corrected, and it will be corrected because I'm back now and I'm going to make sure and push as much as possible to get it corrected. But I know the event is going to be successful. I know things are going to be put in place in such a short notice. I am very sad that I haven't seen any proper marketing or anything done. You know, going into the 90-something years, I don't know if it's going to be fruitful in the sense that what additional are you going to put on beside the street procession, beside a little sporting thing, what additional you're going to see? And I don't see that, but I know that people are going to come out because Buku is goat and crab race. Not only that, we have the harvest, and you know, house to house is a thing in Buku that people don't miss out at all. So I'm looking forward to a successful event. This year we have time to evaluate, and we need to do some evaluation and introspection. And you know, I don't really want to push in negativity too much because we already have some few days. We have to think about defenders who want to come into the community. We have to think about who have put out enough money to be a part of this goat racing. So all I will say is that I hope that the media houses do what they're supposed to do, take the initiative or do not take the initiative, but still the people of Tobago and the people of Trinidad and Tobago and all international persons come out and support the Buku Goat and Crab Race Festival. And after that, I think we will have to do some internal introspections.
All right, Nkosi, so I'd like to thank you for joining us here this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show to voice your opinions. And just a recap for those of you on the live and those watching the rerun, based on the meeting last night, a release was issued and it says that production houses and multi-camera productions will pay a fee of $6,500. Media houses, no fees will be applied to media houses. They will be granted 2 entrance bans, one for the reporter and one for the cameraman, and absolutely no live streaming is allowed. And for photography and videography personnel, they will pay a fee of $1,500 and all rights must be given to the Buku Village Council. So viewers, that was Nkosi Phillips with the call to boycott the crab and goat race. We're not done yet. Just stick with us and remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Welcome to L'Image Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are.
Welcome back, viewers, and as we end this morning's shows, we will be vibrating on a smooth frequency as we switch to that R&B and soul vibe to discuss the Tobago Jazz Festival. Now, joining us this morning, we have Mr. Theron Shaw as we discuss the topic one-on-one with Theron. Good morning, Mr. Shaw, and how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Hope you're hearing me.
So, Shaw, we're not hearing you. Can you turn on the mic? Okay, we're hearing you now.
All right. Okay, morning. Sorry about that.
Good morning, Mr. Shaw. So, how are you doing, Mr. Shaw?
I'm very well, thank you. This morning. I'm hearing
okay,
great. Feedback, but that's okay.
Okay, great. So, you are a guitarist, composer, and a recording artist. So, tell us, what can we expect for this upcoming Tobago Jazz Festival?
Well, in the upcoming show on the 23rd, I'm playing a half-an-hour set with saxophonist Tony Paul. Just to cut down on individual playing, we're going to be sharing the half an hour set together. And so we're going to be playing a mixture of local music, local jazz music, and some contemporary R&B with a jazz flavor. Because that's the nature of the sound of music and festivals. You know, it's up tempo, it's lively, and it's happy music, Caribbean music, I should say.
The show Caribbean music. So these pieces that you will be performing, are they local pieces? Are they pieces that you would have composed yourself?
We have on the set list. We have two local compositions, two originals, I should say, and we have some calypso, you know, some soca, you know. So it's a mixture of just happy music, you know. The intention is to spread good vibes, especially as, you know, we have been without live music for at least 2 or 3 years. You know, we are now, it's now in 2023, it's now caught back on. You know, people are coming back out to hear live music. But so for the performing artists, you know, this is a good time for us. You know, we're just happy to be out and grateful to be alive, but also to spread good music. You know, and keep the music alive too. That's one of the things that we champion for, keeping the music live, L-I-V-E. You know, not so much pre-recorded, nothing wrong with that, but keeping the music live. That's our main goal.
And Mr. Shaw, what a lot of people don't know is that I am a lover of jazz. I love me a good live performance, you know, and for inspiration such as Stevie Wonder, we have Jasmine Sullivan, who's an upcoming jazz artist. So it brings me to question, who are some of your inspirations that would have, you know, inspired you?
Inspirations, going back to George Benson, Wes Montgomery, and I have to include the people who brought me into this field, Clive Zander, who passed away last year. He's the architect of the calypso jazz idiom, and an old accomplice of his, Michael Tobas. Those are the people who actually brought me into the music scene. So I cannot not mention them, because it's important for Trinidadians and Tobagonians to understand that there are people in your space who have created and continue to create the music. So I intend to pass on that legacy too that they have left with me.
Right, Mr. Shaw. And the beauty about jazz is that the live music is one aspect, but when we look at the singers also, when they sing and they do the scatting, the runs, the vocal runs, are we gonna have a singer on set with you all?
We intend to have a young upcoming singer who is a student at UTT. But just on a parallel note, Tony Woodruff and I, Tony Paul, I should say, that's his stage name, we both play with Vonette Bigford. So it's kind of like a sharing of the energy, a sharing of the music. You know, we are playing a set of our own, but we also are involved in Vonette's band. So you'll be seeing us kind of twice through the night. One as featuring ourselves and the other as accompanying Vonette, which is a beautiful thing. It's all live music. We just love to play music, play good music, see people happy. It's so important that I mention that, you know, making people happy is an important thing. Putting a smile on somebody's face. If it's just for like one moment, if it's just for like one verse of a song, so that they can go home feeling, hey, you know, I really enjoy that. It's important because, you know, we are here today, but we're not sure about tomorrow. Right, so we give thanks for that.
Yes, Mr. So I really look forward to that New Orleans vibes, that R&B and soul, you know, that type of music that makes you groove and just dance. I'm really looking forward to seeing that performance, Mr. Shaw.
Okay.
Mr. Skeet, anything you'd like to add?
What I want to get a sense from you, we had the opportunity to chat with Vonette Bigford.
Oh,
and
really?
For her, it seems like more than just music. You know, I have to go in line with the theme. Tell us a little bit from your perspective, because you know, you got me excited there when you say you connect with her band as well. Tell me about, you know, what you're looking forward to on the stage.
What I'm looking forward to is sharing a bit of the local jazz music. Meaning, in Vonette's band and her development, it's a family. So what we try to do is to bring people to the music. And one of the ways of bringing people to the music is playing things that they're accustomed with. Maybe a soca tune with a different vibe, and trying to make that familiarity between what you know and how else it could be expressed. So that's one of the things that we're looking forward to. We have some exciting arrangements on both sides, and the set that I'm doing with Tony Paul and myself, and on Vonet's side, and in Vonet's band also. So it's just exciting to be playing with young people. We have a couple of young musicians. It's always good to see, young people involved in this music. Some people think it's for older people, but it's always beautiful to see young people involved in the live playing of this music, and sharing the information with them, of the art form. So that's what I'm looking forward to, just having a good time for the half an hour I'm on stage.
Teaching appears to be critical.
I'm not sure that answered your question, but.
No, you did. I was about to mention teaching appears to certainly be a critical element for you. And, I'm looking through your socials and I make the connect with from teaching to rehearsing and performing. Tell us a little bit about how critical is that, particularly with the importance of being able to pass on, so with pride and joy. By the time years from now, when you are no longer on that stage, you could say with comfort, I contributed to this individual who is now there. How important is that to you?
It is critically important. The only reason I'm here to talk to you all this morning is because somebody invested in me. Somebody saw a light. Somebody saw, that this young man may have had a talent, and those people were Clive Zander, Toby Tobas, among others, Michael Bootman, so many others, Carl Addison. I've played with so many people, and they have given me that encouragement. So it is my duty to, if I see someone I'm teaching. I teach part-time at UE, I've taught at UTT, just to influence, to guide, to shine a light on someone, a young person who has a talent. And the reality is in Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes, we tend to look at talent, as a pastime, but more and more we are seeing that music and the creative arts is a definitive way to earn money, to earn a living, to have a livelihood. It's not an easy road, but it's a definite means to earn a living. So that's my role. The music that I do is not only for me, but for others to improve on. I want to see that somebody take what I did and take it, 10 steps higher or 20 steps higher in the next 10 years or next year or next 5 years,
All right, I'm wondering if I could put you on the spot a little bit. The Terrence Shaw Music Project. Tell us a little bit about that initiative.
Terrence Shaw Music Project is an ongoing thing. So I termed it the Terrence Shaw Project because it's literally a project in reincarnation every 4 or 5 years. I have different players. We play different types of music. I have a new release out, which is, as the lady who publishes the information says, it's uncharacteristically Terran. And I was like, what is uncharacteristically Terran? But it just means that I put myself in a position or in a place that you wouldn't normally think. So it's if you look at my YouTube channel, there's one song that is out now that is a electronica type of vibe that is produced by Carl Beaver Henderson, and people have been loving it, and it's like, say, how come I end up in that position? Because I open myself up to doing something that is different, that is challenging, I'm not normally associated with. So all those things are the Terrence Shaw Project. I did Terrence Shaw Project. I did 3 CDs so far. This is going to be my 4th. We don't have CDs anymore, so it's more like online releases. So the Terrence Shaw Project really is exposing myself and young people and other folks to different ways of expressing local music. I say that strongly because I'm a Trinidadian. I reside most of my life in Trinidad, and I have to absorb and express in many ways as possible, my environment. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, but we have to find the adventure in ourselves. That's how I think. I could be considered left field, but But that's what the Township project is all about. I'm not sure that answers your question. A bit long-winded.
Doing excellent.
Okay, Mr. Shaw, so I would like to thank you for joining us here this morning on the Tobago
Most
Updates
welcome.
morning show.
You're
You know,
most
we
welcome.
enjoyed
You're most
this
welcome.
one-on-one session, and we most
welcome.
interestingly look forward to seeing your performance. Well, I personally look forward to seeing that performance. Okay, Mr.
Thank you.
Shaw, so
Thank you very
take care.
much. Thank you
You're
very much.
welcome.
Have a good day, gentlemen. All right, bye-bye.
So, Mr. Skeet, we have reached the end of our morning show, or Thursday, the day before the holiday special.
I know. It's that kind of time out and excitement. And I particularly like these series in terms of getting one-on-one. Very often people know the formal side and the formal kind of engagement. It's kind of like Meet Luke, the host, Meet Luke one-on-one.
Yes.
No, it gives you a lighter feel. And, you know, I think that's well accepted now in terms of the norms in 2023. People want to know about you beyond just, you know, that formal space or when I go crazy with you. You know, when you put on that performance and entertainment and entertainers and those in the industry now, you know, I've really come to realize that. And I'm looking forward to these one-on-one engagements. Vonnet Bickford, that interview had me excited as a host. By the time I was finished that interview with her, energized and excited, and people were actually reaching out to me along the way on that given day, saying that, you know, they're really looking forward to hearing her. They were so interested hearing her in that interview, just because, and to me, she was quite natural.
Oh, yes.
In terms of in her comfort zone. So it's really a plus, and we look forward to continuing to bring you the information here on the Tobago Updates morning show.
One-on-one, and probably, you know, before the year is over, we might really get that debate. That's something I'm excited about. Every opportunity I get, I'm going to mention Tobago Updates debate. But viewers, we want to thank everyone who joined us this morning for tuning in, for vibing with us. It's always a pleasure having you all here. You know, Tobago Updates wouldn't be Tobago Updates without you or viewers. So I want to thank you once again for choosing Tobago Updates to continuously start your morning on the right note. So we're going to be heading over to Good Morning Tobago with Chanel Felix. And don't go anywhere yet, viewers. Remember to share the live, and you know, let's continue to live.
Just before we head out, we have one bit of clarification to make, because there was apparently some misunderstanding out there. The interview that just took place with Nkosi Phillips, just an indication, he's not calling, you know, the Nkosi is not calling for the overall boycott of the Buku Crab and Goat Race Festival. In fact, Nkosi is encouraging persons with regards to attending, given that Nkosi continues to be a firm supporter and one of those, anybody that knows Nkosi knows that Buku is near and dear to Nkosi's heart. What Nkosi would have been speaking about specifically, just to clarify for the benefit of those of you viewing, is a clear indication of the challenges as it relates to media personnel, and that under the circumstances, media personnel may be required to take some kind of position. So just to clarify, you know, the information coming in, we don't want you all to misunderstand at all by virtue of the responses coming forth, and we want to indicate clearly on behalf of Tobago Updates and Nkosi Phillips that the request was not for the boycott of the festival. Nkosi is encouraging attendance, but speaking specifically in terms of raising concerns as it relates to the media in these circumstances. So just that there is no misunderstanding at all, both on the part of us here at Tobago Updates and Nkosi Phillips presenting their position this morning. So viewers, as we indicated before, we want to thank you so much for that continued love and support, and for choosing us here at the Tobago Updates morning show each and every day as we prepare to head on over to GMT. Luke, how do we close? This is their opportunity to
share the live, share the live, share the live.
The house is like 2 bedrooms, a toilet, the room, kitchen. The size is like 11 by 10, bathroom like normal concept. Have a living room, full dining room here. I say completion of this building, so it will be about 2 weeks time max. We're doing a cladding on the outside, the inside is a fire rating board, gypsum ceiling, right? And well, normal tiles and stuff on the ground.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, guys. You know, when you see me sitting here, we're about to have those conversations to get your day started. Have those conversations that you want to have and ask those questions that you want to know. And as we begin this morning, I want to start off with your news in 90 seconds. And so, following threats by media houses to boycott the 95th hosting of the Buku Goat and Crab Race, over a $1,500 accreditation fee for news coverage, the decision was rescinded. However, all footage must be credited as being courtesy of the Buku Village Council. At a meeting on Wednesday night, the media was told that news crews would not be able to operate freely without paying an accreditation fee. A release was issued late last night informing the media that they will no longer have to pay for news coverage. Meanwhile, videographers producing content are still required to pay $6,500, while photographers must pay $1,500. Village Council Vice President Winston Pereira said that the goat and crab race are copyrighted and following them and allowing them to control who gets to publicize content from the goat and crab races. Additionally, the THA is seeking funding for a coastal erosion management project at the Pigeon Point Heritage Park. According to the manager of the engineering unit at the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, Mr. Atiba Martin, the THA is negotiating with the Development Bank of Latin America for a loan. A recent study at the Pigeon Point revealed that the previous coastal protection works were poor and extensive rehabilitation works are needed. However, the work would be costly and the THA would need access to funding outside of its annual budgetary allocation. And finally, the administration of the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus says that it is making every effort to reduce the impact of the West Indies group of university teachers' protests action on students. University teachers refuse to sign examination papers and upload coursework marks after their wage negotiation stalled. The UE Student Guild stated that while they understand the frustration felt by teachers, they do not support the teachers' actions, especially after the Operation Blackout, where some teachers refused to teach. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Guys, this morning we're going to start off with a conversation that has been very prominent in the space, especially after we saw Tuesday night that this THA administration has begun efforts into launching a new political party led by Fali Chavez Augustine as currently the interim, I believe, political leader. Now, we're going to have a lot more information and some clarity on exactly what happened on Tuesday evening at the Cultural Complex, as I am being joined this morning by Dr. Faith B. Israel, who is the area representative for Belgarden Glamorgan. Good morning, Dr. Faith.
Hi. Good morning, Shalal. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you on. But on Tuesday evening, you guys embarked on a journey to invite supporters to come out for what was marketed as a party launch. Now, there's been a lot of misconceptions in the space, especially coming out of the media not being allowed to enter into the building at first, but then being allowed to cover a portion of the session. This would have contributed to a lot of confusion regarding whether or not it indeed was a party launch or was it an internal executive meeting, which is the prelude to a party launch. So again, thank you for coming, and that's why we're going to start off the conversation this morning.
Certainly. So yes, several things happened. So what happened on Tuesday really is a continuation of a conversation that started with our supporters. And when I say a continuation of the conversation, several supporters following, let's not pretend it's not happening. We know what happened last year. People like me were basically kicked out of a certain political organization. We tried our best to continue functioning. After a while, we resigned officially from that organization. And we recognized coming into this year that our supporters were really busily trying to let us telling us that we need to get our act together. We need to figure out what to do. We need to pull things together somehow. Of course, Trinidad and Tobago is very familiar with party politics. That is how we go into elections as party kind of thing. Of course, the Tobago House of Assembly does not recognize the party as relates to who is elected, and after you're elected, you're sworn in as an individual to represent your people. So that allowed us to continue working. But a group of supporters have actually been working for some time now, doing a lot of the background work, pulling together a draft constitution, looking at different names. People were throwing names left, right, and center, and all of this was actually happening before Tuesday. On a Tuesday, that we would bring our supporters together to allow them to be a part of the conversation. And when I say our supporters, that even includes those of people like me who are assemblymen, because we were not really involved in that initial part of the conversation that the supporters were leading. If I'm not mistaken, the flyer that went out actually said a preparation to launch. So that is what we are doing. We are preparing to launch this political organization. So let me also address the issue with the media. I know that media people, this is exciting stuff. Politics is exciting. We are used to this being a media spectacle and that kind of thing. But we wanted an opportunity for our supporters to be able to honestly speak to us, to be able to tell us how they truly feel about what has happened and the direction that we are going in terms of creating this new organization. So we wanted to allow them the ability to be free with their speech, to not be encumbered. But we also know that from past experience that sometimes media personalities run with the most salacious thing. That is what media is. If it's not exciting, if it's not headline-ish, then it will not be carried. So we wanted to ensure that what happens in the room is not misrepresented, for example, in the media space. And let me give an example. The executive has been going to these community sessions, these town hall meetings, and so on. And one of the last ones that we had was in Roxborough. We were there for probably 3 hours discussing things with the population. It was a very fruitful discussion. But when you look at the media reporting of that, it make it look like it's only a host of the bacchanalish people that come out from Roxborough that were part of the conversation, when in fact that did not truly represent what was happening. And we wanted to protect our supporters from that kind of misrepresentation. We wanted to allow them to speak freely and to say what they needed to say without worrying that, you know what, they would become a meme or they would become a headline, when in fact the conversation in the room is a more balanced one, and so forth. And that is exactly what happened on Tuesday. I am so excited about where we are and where we are going, and it's just a matter of time before this whole thing pulls itself together the way we would like our members. So now we have members. Now that's the other thing I want to highlight. Coming out of the other organization, we did not have, for example, a list of members to call to an internal meeting. You know what I mean? That is what membership is for. But we don't have a list of members to call to an internal meeting. So when we sent out the public notice, it was for all of Tobago. Anybody who supports us, anybody who agrees with our political philosophy, to be a part of the conversation. In that room, we actually saw people who if I were to send out an invitation, I would not have invited them because they were, for example, candidates going up against us in the last election. That's one of the reasons we sent out a public call, because we needed people to allow themselves to be a part of the conversation without us dictating who should come and who does not come.
Okay, and Dr. Faye, with the restrictions that you guys had placed on the media, because you wanted to control what went out there afterwards, are you satisfied, or do you think that you guys met your goal or the objective of what you were trying to do by allowing those restrictions?
Certainly, because we had people who came in and they were very, very clear about how they felt. We had people who were very, very supportive. We had people who said that they were disappointed in how the whole thing happened last year and all of that. And we wanted to allow our supporters to be able to voice their concerns, but more importantly, to be part and parcel of this entire process of developing this political organization from the ground up. And that is what they were able to do at that meeting.
That the structure of the meeting allowed for you guys to have enough feedback from your supporters?
So I think it did. I am sure if we allowed it to go on, it will go on and on and on and on and on until probably all now we would have still been there talking. But that is why, for example, after a while, our interim political leader, Farley Chavez Augustine, basically said and asked the room, because again, this is a collaboration, asked the room, given that we have so many suggestions for names, so many suggestions for symbols, so many suggestions for color and all of those things, we are taking all of those suggestions. I don't know, there were people who were there taking notes and so forth, and they were even going up on the screen as people were talking. Now that we have all of these suggestions, the room actually picked a 5-member, I think, set of people who were in the room. The room said, we want this person and that person and that person to come together. We have given them a 2-week time period to work out, given what political organizations have already registered with EBC. So that means they have to look at what names were already registered, what symbols are already registered, what colors are already registered with EBC, because you can't have duplications of those things. And based on everything that everybody said there, everything that we recorded, this 5-member team is now to come together and come up with no more than five options for name, symbol, color, and that thing. So when we come back to a meeting on the 17th of April, we can then vote for those things. Again, this was given all of the suggestions that came in. We had to agree that we had to continue the conversation, because I think that is the best way to go, given that there are rules about it, given that we have to check what EBC has and that kind of thing.
Okay, and so with the misunderstanding of exactly what was going to happen on Tuesday in regards to it actually being a party launch or a preparation for a party launch, what type of changes are you guys looking forward to making in the future to ensure clarity across the board with the type of approach that you're taking to this new political party?
So I think having conversations like these is what would help to have people understand exactly what we are doing. Now, all of this is new. Listen, as I said, as a secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection, now Deputy Chief Secretary, the first year it was my OJT year. We are all learning as we go along. And that is also happening as we build this political organization. This may be the first time in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, possibly even the history of the entire region, where a political organization is being built like this from the ground up. So of course we need to be able to communicate a little better. We will make mistakes, of course. That is not an issue. I am one of the first people who will admit if a mistake is made or a misunderstanding is made. We will continue having conversations about the process so that we are all on the same page, and we go forward from there. I think that the media, members of the media, were just so excited about this whole thing, given all of the bacchanal to it, because to be honest, all your media people like the bacchanal. Given that part of it, there was an excitement surrounding it, which is fine. That is not an issue at all. And even as I was walking into the complex, I was joking with the members of the media, indicating that, yeah, we all really like this bacchanal thing, but that is fine. We are all doing this together. We want to ensure, though, that those who support us are the ones who are driving this exercise, and Tuesday showed that they are the ones who are driving this exercise. It also showed that we actually have, in my mind, let me be honest, I when I saw the number of people who came, because if you realize from those of us who were there, we had standing room only. All of the seats were filled. We even had to call Shore Park and let them bring up some more chairs to put in a back room where people were just sitting and they couldn't even see what was going on. They just had to hear what was going on. So I was actually surprised at the number of people who actually came out. But that shows that, you know what, Tobagonians are excited about this process, and they want to be a part of building something that is really Tobago based, Tobago focused, where they can say they were really a part of it.
Right. And outside of the turnout that seemed to be a bit too big for the room that you guys had, what were some of the success indicators for you guys, and do you deem that event as having been a success?
Yeah, I think it was a tremendous success, a tremendous success. So what are some of the indicators? So yes, the actual number of people is one. The fact that people came with ideas, so they came with names, they came with suggestions, they came with rationale for why we want this symbol, or why we want these words together, and they were able to have that conversation freely. They were able to give those suggestions freely. There were some things that I had not even thought about, but that came from the crowd. We had a mix of also some of the stalwarts, some of the people who are my heroes when it comes to politics, Tobago politics. When I see Sister Pam roll up, I say, well, yes, we're doing something go okay, because Sister Pam leaves she house and come up, and all of those things. So those are the kinds of interactions that we saw that to me was heartwarming. So we had the old, we had the new, we had the people who were involved in politics. One of the young men from I think the Roxborough Argyle area came with their blowhorn, and it took me right back to when we were campaigning and that kind of thing. So those are some of the things that I think are so critical to what we want to do, and the fact that we were able to come out of it having all of us, at least most of us. I don't think I heard anybody left it feeling negatively or feeling like they were not a part of the process. To me, all of those are success indicators.
And I have to be the devil's advocate here and add, like, what about the conversation that is happening where when we look at the fact that we had persons like Pamela Nicholson coming out and we have Christine Moore drafting the Constitution and a number of other persons who have been connected to a number of other opposition party, there is the conversation where persons are saying, well, this is the same old opposition with a new name and a new symbol and a new color, but it's really the same old people who have been opposing the PNM for as long as the PNM has been in existence, because we see a lot of familiar opposition faces in the room. So tell us exactly why this one is different.
So, I think those on the other side, particularly those on the PNM, try to use this is the same set of people. But the fact that the same set of people are still actively fighting against you, and the fact that the same set of people absolutely refuse to join you, says something about you and your party. When we look at the number of people who vote in elections, for example, the number of people who vote for the PNM versus the number of people who have been voting for parties like ours, those who oppose the PNM, you realize that the vast majority of people on the island, at least, let me speak about Tobago, actually don't support PNM's mandate. So the fact that we have those individuals who are still supporting and who are still rallying around us is telling us that, you know what, we're going in the right direction, because you know what, that other red party, that other PNM party, they are not doing what Tobago wants. They are not doing what Tobagonians need. They spent the last 21 years or so not developing Tobago. And the fact that we have all of these stalwarts who still want to be a part and who are still teaching us, because that is what they're doing. I look at those individuals and they're teaching us about the pitfalls that they fell into before and so forth, so that we would learn from them. I see that as a positive thing. I really don't know that the PNM should be boasting that it's the same old people, because it means that you have not grown supporters. The people who are supposed to be gravitating towards you as PNM not doing it, and they are looking for any other option but you, which says something about your political party and your philosophy and what you have done against the people of Tobago. And I am very proud to be a part of an organization that is pulling all of these different people together to be a part of developing this lovely island.
And seeing that this new political party that is being formed, it has a number of the PDP executive members behind it. We saw Natasha Seconds, who was the previous secretary under the PDP administration. What about the comments that this is just the PDP B team? How do you respond to that?
But there's really no reason to even respond to that. There is no reason to respond to that. Those of us who are on the ground, those of us who were part of the PDP, and to be honest, I was a proud member of the PDP, and it still pains me. I actually said on Tuesday to somebody who I was sitting close to that Tuesday afternoon was probably the first time since all of the bacchanal last year that I actually feel good about Tobago party politics again, because it is still very painful, it is still very hard, it is still very hurtful to think that we were part of building this thing, and then one man just decide that he ain't like how we going, so he got take a bat and the ball and go away. That to me is very unfair. The people of Tobago should not have been a part of that, should not have had to endure that. And it actually says a lot where those who, most if not all, and maybe not all, but the vast majority of people who were on the executive, who were supporters of the PDP, were the ones that are in the room. That says us something about that organization. Now, granted, I wish them well. I understand that they will be contesting local government elections and all of that. But that is no longer our business. It is no longer our concern. It is no longer our burden to bear. We are here now, and we are working towards developing a party. And in particular, and Farley said it on Tuesday, even though he is interim political leader, the way we are developing it is so that we never, ever, ever have an opportunity for one man to pick up a party and say it's mine. Go on with it. And that is what I think that lesson is probably one of the biggest lessons we learned from interacting with PDP, that we have to build something that the people are holding on to, that the people are in control of, that the people know that they are the founders and they are the owners, not one man, so that if that one man decide tomorrow he ain't like what's going on, he could take it. I think that was a very unfair thing for Tobagonians to go through, and we are insisting that that never happens again.
And Dr. Faith, as we wrap up today, because we don't have as much time to go in as much as we want to on this conversation, what is the next move for this political party? What can we see happening next?
So, as I said before, on the 17th of April, so a little less than 2 weeks now, we come back together to vote on the actual name, to vote on the symbol, to vote on the color. We will then start looking at the draft constitution that was prepared, because in essence, the constitutions for political parties tend to be pretty similar. So, as you mentioned before, Miss Chrislyn Moore was the one who led the team, and it wasn't just her, there was actually a team of them that was pulled together to say, well, this works, this isn't working. We're looking at other political structures, political parties, let's pull from them. We then look at that to see if it fits what we do, and then we roll out from there. I cannot promise you, for example, when the actual launch of the political party will happen, because all of this may take time. We may come back on the 17th, and everybody there decide, them five that all you come up with and working, so we can't vote on them, nobody like them, and we continue the process. Now, the good thing about us starting at this point is that we still have a little bit of time to do this work. And I think that the members of the Executive Council of the Tobago House of Assembly, because we are we are not leading this process, for example, this is not going to disrupt our functioning within the Executive Council, within the governance of Tobago. So we can still do that while the other members do what they need to do. And we will be able to really, truly build an organization that is worth being a part of.
Thank you so much, Dr. Faith. Thank you again for joining us here on Tobago Updates. And we definitely have to continue this conversation because there's so much more to get into regarding this new party. Guys, if you just joined us, we just had Dr. Faith B. Israel as she clarified a number of things regarding the formation of the new political party led by Farley Chavez Augustine. Guys, we're about to take a break, and when we come back, we're just going to go straight in with my co-host Candice Jackson as she's speaking with Dexter Sandy, who is the president of the Tobago Motorsport Association. Guys, we're going to go straight over there. As we know, this weekend is Easter weekend and we have car show happening. So we're going straight over to you, Candice.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, I am Candice Jackson and I am here at the Bacalet Parade Grounds where we are going to tell you about some more car show funness that's happening this weekend, specifically when it comes to drifting, specifically when it comes to the authentic indigenous Tobago car people. I just say car people, right? That's how we know. So I'm here with Mr. Dexter Sandy, and he is the head of the Tobago Motorsport Association. Good morning and welcome to you, sir.
This morning, Candice, and morning to your viewers.
All right, so, I mean, normally on Easter weekend, we have a lot of car show goodness happening, right? It's been going on for 20 years. But you all are doing something special and separate.
Yeah, normally for Easter in Tobago, everybody knows come to Tobago for the car show, right? Tobago has had a history of the largest car shows in the country. So this year, the Tobago Motorsport Association and Suspects Auto, we have done a collaboration to present this car show, Caribbean Auto Fete, this Sunday, the 9th of April, right here at the parade grounds.
Now, your name is Caribbean Autofet. So, is it safe to assume that you're having drivers coming from outside of the country, from the Caribbean, coming to the Caribbean Autofet?
Well, for this edition, no. This edition is only Trinidad and Tobago. But the long-term plan of the event is to carry it up the region. We have already been in discussions with the association in Grenada to think of carrying this same type of style show to Grenada, and then we're going to explore the other Caribbean islands.
Great. And well, viewers, if you also don't know, if you come here sometimes on a Sunday evening, it's a buzzing of activity of cars and screeching tires, because one of the features, the thing that the Tobago Motorsport Association is known for is their drifting.
Correct, you're correct. And the drifting is one aspect or one discipline in motorsport that we have out here on weekends. So we have karting, where the go-karts come out, the kids and adults will enjoy that. We have the RC, which is radio control. We also have the dexterity group, and the highlight are the drifters, right? The Tobago Drifter Association. So they usually come out here at least twice a month and do their practice sessions for shows like this.
So what can we expect of the show on Sunday?
All right, so on Sunday, you're going to have drifters from Trinidad. Some of the best drifters from Trinidad are coming across to compete with the best of Tobago. All right, so I want to encourage everybody to come on down, come and support your local drift superstar. All right, we know Optimum Cooling, we have Smithy, we have Patrick, you name it, we have them here. Yeah, and I mean, today we have 2 cars here on display. You're going to see them here live on Sunday. But we just want to encourage everybody to come on down and support. The entry fee is only $100 for 14 years and over. And once you're under 14, we're going to take $60. That's the entrance fee, right? For toddlers, for infants, they're absolutely free. We're not going to charge for that, right? But we're encouraging everybody to come on down, because the drifters now are going up for a big cash pot prize. Right now, the drift competition, there are two classes. There's the Pro 1 and the Pro 2. For the Pro 2 class, they're fighting for a first place of $5,000. In the Pro 1 class, they're fighting for $20,000 as the first prize. So competition is really going to be stiff out here on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun and enjoyment for everybody. We also have the audio aspect. So you're going to have the guys coming to do the sound off, the drop low, the airbags, you name it. We will have it here. Everything auto is happening here this Sunday at the parade grounds.
All right, so now we're going to pause with Dexter for a bit, and I'm going to take you back to one of the superstars that are here from Tobago. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning to you.
Tell me your name.
To viewers, my name is Patrick Sandy.
All right, so Patrick Sandy is one of those that you're going to be seeing on display. What is special about your style of drifting?
Well, drifting on a whole, I guess, as people say, is a vehicle out of control. So it's more or less to show your skill that you can control a vehicle, you control the speed and so forth.
And why would you be better than everybody else?
I wouldn't say I'm better than anybody else. Because each drifter has their own drifting style, I should say.
All right, so now, I mean, why do you like drifting?
More or less is a sense of relaxation, and just
all right, so I mean, viewers, this is not the first time we've been speaking to some of these drivers, and one thing I've noticed is that they're very quiet. They're very few of little words, but they're fierce out there. So let me introduce you to another one. So good morning and welcome to you. So what's your name?
Akil Smith. Good morning.
All right, so tell me about what you drive and why.
Well, I drive a C33 Laurel powered by a 2JZ, and I used to be into drags before, but since I've been introduced to drifting, I realized that drifting is more fun. You don't need a crowd to enjoy your car. You could come out by yourself, you make 2 spins and you're adrenaline pumping, you feel good. But drags, now you need somebody to race against to see what your car is doing. While drifting, you could build a car to a certain standard and enjoy it at the time, and it could gradually go up as it goes.
So when people come here on Sunday to see you guys on display, what are they going to be seeing from you?
Well, they'll be seeing me trying my best to get the first prize, but the most important, I'll be coming to have fun and give back something to my supporters and just have fun.
Yes, viewers. So you have it, but I mean, we're not just leaving here without seeing some action, because right now these two are going to getting into their vehicles and to be showing you a little of what we're going to be seeing on Sunday. right? So as they're about to get into their vehicles and do some drifting for us, just tell me about just the growth of the Tobago motorsports that's been happening in recent times.
All right, so Tobago Motorsport Association would have been formed in 2015, and the entity was formed really to bring everybody who's interested in motorsport activities under one umbrella, and to then now foster a group to bargain to get a facility built in Tobago, because over the years we do go to Trinidad, to Wallafield, and back in the days in Camden to compete in different events. So since then to now, we've been working and making strides. We've been working with the Tobago House of Assembly, and what they've afforded us is the use of the parade grounds. So we have a structured day and time to come on weekends and actually have the guys practice and hone the skills, and it now prepares us for a show like this that we're going to put on Sunday, right?
And for people that are worried about safety, of course, it's fast cars, sometimes it can be uncontrollable, how do you alleviate those fears?
All right, so safety is of number one priority. We do have the support of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services. They will be here in terms of crowd control and to be able to react in the event of an emergency. Now, the individual drivers, when they are competing, they will have proper attire. So they will have helmets on, they will have the correct seat belts, they will also have fire extinguishers in their car in the event of an emergency that they can utilize the fire extinguisher. For the arena that they're going to be drifting in and competing in, we have safety measures there as well. We would have tires lining the arena, which acts as a buffer. If a car spins out of control, it comes into the rubber tire as a cushion, then it comes into contact with a concrete post. So those are the safety mechanisms to keep away from the crowd.
And viewers, there you have it, some action happening right there, live on Tobago Updates. If you are an adrenaline junkie, if this gets you going, oh my God. And I have been in those vehicles. I'm not in there today because we didn't have the necessary safety gear for me to be in there today, but that's okay. This is just a little taste of what you're going to see on Sunday. So if you liked any of what you just saw, seeing those two I can't really put the words to it. I kind of speechless like that time that they put me in the car and had me drifting, but that's okay. So, like I said, come out on Sunday. And Dexter, what time are you guys going to be getting started on Sunday?
All right, so our doors open at 2 o'clock. Action starts right thereafter. We go from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. Right, so you're going to have 12 hours of auto fit. You're going to have drifting, you're going to have sound off, you're going to have cars on display, best paint job, best suspension, even the hydraulics display. You're going to have all of that here on Sunday at the parade grounds. The only venue to be at on Sunday. One show, one venue. Yeah?
All right. So, can't say it better. So make sure come along, especially support our Tobago drivers. They've been through this for like at least 2 decades. At least 2 decades. They've been growing this. So Tobago, come out and support our own and, help them build this into something that could be greater, something that could be reaching out to the international. The potential is out there. All right, so thank you so much, Dexter.
All right, thank you, Candice and your team, and morning Tobago Update. See you on Sunday.
All right, viewers, we go to a break, and then it's back to Chanel in studio.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car it damage bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry, if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
To the ones we special and there is no denying Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning Tobago. Good morning Tobago.
Good morning again and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, if you are just joining us, then you really missed a treat this morning. We started off by chatting with Dr. Faith B. Israel, who would have discussed with us what really happened in that room on Tuesday when the media was asked to leave, when their preparation for the launch of that new party. Now, there's so many questions still left unanswered or still left to ask, I must say. So we're going to try our best to continue that conversation and see and look on as that political party develops. Dr. Faith indicated that on the 17th of April, Monday, that's the first Monday when school reopens, they're going to have another meeting. So I guess if you guys are interested in following up with this new party, you can participate by reaching out and being a part of that next meeting, where she indicated that they would be voting on a party symbol, color, and name. And so, guys, We also spoke with the Tobago Motorsport Association, headed by Mr. Dexter Sandy. We had Candice Jackson right before the break. She was out there at the parade grounds at Dwight York as they prepare for Sunday's car show, which should be so very exciting. We look forward to all the exciting stuff that's happening over the weekend. Yesterday, if you guys missed it, I'm really sorry, but the Tobago Jazz Festival had that extension of the $100 off of your ticket. If you were able to benefit from that, then kudos to you. If you were not, then I guess you're just going to have to pay full price. But regardless of that, we are going to come out and we are going to be supporting the Tobago Jazz Festival. In addition to that, we have kite flying at the Mariah football grounds, which they will also be having a bike show and a drifting car show, and this is going to be happening this weekend, and it's going to be live streamed right here on Tobago Updates. So look out for that. That's going to be happening as a part of our Easter rundown of activities. So there are other car shows that are going to be happening as well. So there are other options for you guys to choose from. In addition to that, guys, we just want to thank you for continuing to stay tuned to Tobago Updates and making us the #1 broadcaster on the island of Tobago. And again, thank you for joining. Thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting. I am Chanel Felix. And again, thank you for joining us here on Tobago Updates, guys. Have a great day.
Strong